Hello to everyone, this is Viewpoint and I am Benyamin Poghosyan. And we will discuss the most important issues which took place during the previous week. And definitely our main focus will be May 22 meeting in Brussels between Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan, Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev. The meeting was facilitated by the European Union Council President Charles Michel. So, first of all, let's understand that this was not the first meeting in this format. Aliyev and Pashinyan met in Brussels twice, in December 2021 and also recently on April 6, 2022. So in general, we may say that we have the two platforms for Armenia-Azerbaijan negotiations. Moscow platforms, facilitated by Russian President Vladimir Putin and also Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, and Brussels platform, facilitated by European Union Council President Charles Michel. So what were the main issues discussed yesterday? According to the statement done by President Charles Michel, the parties discussed the same three tracks which are now under discussions for the recent month. Track number 1, restoration of communications or deblocking of communications. Direction number 2, border delimitation and demarcation, and also track number 3, Armenia-Azerbaijan negotiations on peace treaty, or as it's sometimes called, treaty on bilateral relations. So according to the Charles Michel statement, sides made several advancements on these three tracks. First, the finally decision was made that the Border Delimitation and Demarcation Commission will meet somewhere near in May or maybe at the beginning of June in the Armenia-Azerbaijan border. Of course, this will be only the beginning of Border Delimitation and Demarcation Commission, and work may last years, if not decades, given the all difficulties on the process. The Border Delimitation and Demarcation issues were also discussed during November 2021 meeting in Sochi, facilitated by the Russian President Vladimir Putin. So we may say that in this track, I mean border delimitation and demarcation between Armenia and Azerbaijan, both Russia and European Union had same interests and they push for the same agenda, at least to start the work of this commission. On second track, restoration of communications or deblocking of communications, again, according to Charles Michel, some achievements have been made. The sides agreed on basic principles regarding the transit fees and regarding other issues on deblocking of communications. However, we should understand that this process began in January 2021 when the second trilateral statement was adopted in Moscow during the meeting between President Putin, President Aliyev and Prime Minister Pashinyan. We have trilateral working group led by Deputy Prime Ministers of Armenia, Azerbaijan and Russia. And this working group launched its activities in spring 2021. So again, here we see that a Russian position and European position usually are on the same page. They both believe that restoration of communication should be done, or at least process should start. And by the way, this restoration of communications issue was also discussed during the Dushanbe meeting between Armenian, Azerbaijani and Russian foreign ministers. So let's see. Also, after December 2021 and April 2022 meetings, there were some positive statements that sides are very close to finalize their decisions regarding the legal status of these communications. We all know that the key problem here is that Azerbaijan demands unimpeded access via Armenia, which from Azerbaijani point of view means that they simply should drive through Sunni region of Armenia as they are driving, for example, from Baku to another Azerbaijani city. I don't believe that this will be accepted by Armenia. Russians are also active here, and probably they suggest that, okay, if Azerbaijan was no control via passing through its unique region, and Armenia believes that there should be Armenian control, maybe the Russian control could be a compromise. It's difficult to assess if sides are able to overcome all their disagreements. But again, on the second track, restoration of communications or deblocking of routes, again, Russia and European Union are on the same page. They both believe that this will be good for contributing to the stability in the South Caucasus and to the stability between relations of Armenia and Azerbaijan. However, we should understand that the key in Armenia-Azerbaijan issues is the start of negotiations on peace treaty or treaty of bilateral relations between Armenia and Azerbaijan. And here all understand that this treaty cannot be signed, this treaty cannot even be negotiated without any mentions about the final status of Nagorno Karabakh. And we all know that the issue of final status of Nagorno Karabakh is the most difficult issue. This was the reason of the conflict, which started back in 1988, and this is the reason of the conflict which traces back until 1918, just immediately after the collapse of the Russian Tsarist Empire. So the peace treaty between Armenia and Azerbaijan definitely will touch and should touch the issue of Nagorno Karabakh status. And here I believe we have the third track, or the situation when Russian and European Union or Western interests, they do not coincide completely. From a Western point of view, Armenia and Azerbaijan should reach some agreement on Nagorno-Karabakh status, which will definitely contribute to the long-term stability in the South Caucasus. However, especially after the end of the war in Nagorno-Karabakh in 2020, and as a result of Armenia's defeat, we all understand that the only status which can be confirmed or agreed upon in Armenia-Azerbaijan negotiations concerning Nagorno-Karabakh could be some status of Nagorno-Karabakh within Azerbaijan. It could be some cultural autonomy, some political autonomy, or any other status, but within Azerbaijan. And from European perspective and from the Western perspective, if Armenia and Azerbaijan agrees on this, it means that Azerbaijan and also the West may demand from Russia to withdraw its peacekeepers from Nagorno-Karabakh in November 2025. At the end of the day, Russian peacekeepers were deployed in Nagorno-Karabakh to prevent the new conflict. But if Armenia and Azerbaijan agrees on the status of Nagorno-Karabakh, it means that the probability of new conflict, the probability of the new war is almost zero. And in that case, why to keep Russian peacekeepers there? And here we have also the fusion of geopolitics, because both Azerbaijan, Turkey, and also especially the United States, they are interested not to see Russian troops deployed in Nagorno-Karabakh, or at least to see their withdrawal after November 2025 due to obvious geopolitical reasons. But from Russian perspective, they want to have permanent military presence in Nagorno-Karabakh. And also Russia understands very well that if Armenia and Azerbaijan agrees on the status of Nagorno-Karabakh, then it will be very difficult for Russia to claim or justify the deployment of Russian troops in Nagorno-Karabakh. So here we have a very interesting situation when European Union or the West in general, they are interested on signature of Armenia-Azerbaijan peace treaty. Of course, they understand that this peace treaty cannot be negotiated or signed within several months. From Western perspective, the best case scenario or the best solution is to finalize negotiation within 2 or 2.5 years and have a signature of this treaty between Armenia and Azerbaijan, also with agreement on Nagorno-Karabakh status, no later than end of 2024. And this will allow Azerbaijan in spring 2025 to reject the extension of Russian peacekeepers' mandate in Nagorno-Karabakh. Of course, West does not compel or force Armenia to agree on any status, but simply West tells Armenia and Azerbaijan, guys, please come to any agreement. And also, West understands that now it will be very difficult to convince Azerbaijan to recognize Nagorno-Karabakh independence or recognize Nagorno-Karabakh as a part of Azerbaijan. And also, given the recent messages from the Armenian government done by Prime Minister, during his press conferences in late December 2021, on January 24, 2022, and also his speech in the Armenian parliament on April 13, 2022, when the Prime Minister hinted that maybe Armenia will agree to see Nagorno Karabakh as part of Azerbaijan if the rights are guaranteed for Armenians living in Nagorno Karabakh. From the Western perspective, this means that the emphasis should be done on how to secure the rights of Armenian population within Nagorno Karabakh, which itself will be de jure part of Azerbaijan. And here, European Union may offer some clues and also some solutions based on European experience. Now there are some discussions like, okay, let's look how more than 1 million Romanians live in Hungary and their rights are guaranteed. Also, let's see how Albanians now live in Northern Macedonia, and again, somehow their rights and also their security is guaranteed. So from European Union perspective, if Armenia believes, or if Armenian government believes, that theoretically Karabakh can be part of Azerbaijan if there are guarantees for the security of Armenians, it means that Europeans may say, okay, wonderful. So the main obstacle to reach this peace deal between Armenia and Azerbaijan and pave the way for the withdrawal of Russian peacekeepers from Nagorno Karabakh, this way is clear. And it means that the negotiations may focus not on the status of Nagorno Karabakh, should it be part of Azerbaijan, independent or part of Armenia, but negotiations may focus on how to provide necessary rights of Nagorno Karabakh Armenians within Azerbaijan, how to make sure that Armenians with Azerbaijani passports who live in Nagorno Karabakh, they will have their rights protected. Definitely, this is an unacceptable solution for Armenian Nagorno Karabakh, because we all know very well that even if Azerbaijan will provide all possible guarantees for Armenians, if Armenia will sign an agreement with Azerbaijan recognizing Karabakh as part of Azerbaijan, no Armenian will live in Nagorno Karabakh. So it very quickly will result in complete depopulation of Nagorno Karabakh from Armenians. So from this point of view, we have to accentuate that in the third track of Armenia-Azerbaijan relations, the signature of peace treaty with fixing or agreeing on status of Nagorno Karabakh, in this track we see not coinciding interests of Russia and the West. If West is interested somehow to bring Armenia and Azerbaijan on an agreement on status of Nagorno Karabakh, to have the agreement signed and use this as a reason to demand the withdrawal of Russian peacekeepers from Nagorno Karabakh in November 2025. Russia is not interested in this, because strategic goal of Russia in our region is to have permanent military presence in Nagorno Karabakh. So let's see how the situation will develop. Of course, the negotiations itself, as I mentioned, negotiations on peace treaty will take years. But again, as a Western position is this: if Armenia and Azerbaijan agrees on the status of Nagorno Karabakh, we are happy to support this. And if Armenian government believes that the key is not the status of Nagorno Karabakh, key is the security of Armenians, then Europeans are telling, okay, we may support Azerbaijan to provide necessary guarantees for Armenian security in Nagorno Karabakh. However, this is not acceptable for Russia, as Russia understands that this is a way to push Russian troops from Nagorno Karabakh, if not now, at least after November 2025. And also, this is not the right way for Armenian Nagorno Karabakh, as even if Azerbaijan will provide full range of guarantees for Armenians living in Nagorno Karabakh, definitely few Armenians, if any, will continue to live in Nagorno Karabakh if Armenia recognizes Nagorno Karabakh as part of Azerbaijan. So, from my point of view, I believe that we will see more quick advancement in two tracks: border delimitation demarcation process, or at least start of border delimitation demarcation process, and also some concrete results in the restoration of communication process. But the third track, the negotiations between Armenia and Azerbaijan on peace treaty or on treaty on bilateral relations, including the status of Nagorno Karabakh, here I believe the path will be much more difficult. And definitely it's not in Armenian interest to agree on Nagorno Karabakh being part of Azerbaijan, even if Azerbaijan with the involvement of European Union or other international bodies, will promise Armenia to provide all necessary rights and guarantees. Thank you, and we will continue.